Oh, I am live now. Okay. So let's go here. So just, I am live now. Okay. So let's go here. We don't have anything. Let's see here. Change the thumbnail to that. Stanley. Uh, that's such it out. That's such it out. That's such a. Put this on at the. Where's at the movies? Boom, done. Get rid of that. Save. How do I get back to the actual? There it is. I'm learning as I go along. How do I get back to the actual? There it is. I'm learning as I go along. Okay, party people in the place to be. What's going on? It's me. It's me. I just, and I mean just, got back from seeing Spider-Man Far From Home. Let's set this up so I don't have to hold it anymore. First things first, I got a lesson in making sure that I check the IMDb of these movies before I actually go see these movies, just to be sure that somebody I absolutely abjectly hate is not in said movie, said film. How do I do this? Nope. Better. Luckily, they weren't in it enough to completely ruin the movie, but I almost got up and walked out of the theater when I saw JB Smooth's fucking ass in this movie. I hate JB Smoove. Oh my god, I hate JB Smoove. JB Smoove is one of these people that if I know they're in a movie, I won't go see it. I won't objectively go see it. And if I had checked the IMDb instead of just on a lark saying, hey, let's go see a Spidey flick today, then I would not be here talking to you, at least not about Far From Home. And that's probably the reason that I didn't go see the other Spider-Man movie, was because I found out that J.B. Smoove was in it. And you're going to have to excuse the... actually, no, you're not going to have to excuse the glare. I think if I move the light over here, we won't get that problem. I'm still trying to figure all of this out, party people. The snowball fell, but I caught it. Be right back. Okay, yes, that looks better. So, getting back into the groove of coming in and doing reviews and whatnots and doing live streams and whatnots. Anyway, so Spider-Man Far From Home. We're going to get into the non-spoiler portion of it before we get into anything else. Actually, here, before I even do all of that, let me do a couple other things. Let me share this link on Twitter. Yes. Let me share it on Facebook. Yes. Can I share it on Reddit? Ask me where to share it to. Yes, I have to choose community. And that'll get me into some trouble, so I'll just leave it alone. Okay, so, J.B. Smoove. Luckily, they did the best they could with J.B. Smoove. And the second best you can do with J.B. Smoove. The best you can do with J.B. Smoove is to never hire that cartoon character. But the second best thing you can do with him is put him in a corner somewhere where he doesn't really say anything. And he's not really in the movie all that much. The 15 seconds per scene that he is in the movie, he's not doing his normal J.B. Smoove shtick where he's just sounding like the bubbles coming from an aquarium every time he speaks and making these god-awful fucking jokes. He's not, let me tell you what black people do, Larry. Let me tell you what black people do, Larry. No, he's just off in a corner somewhere. So, definitely $1 off, at least, for the appearance of J.B. Smoove. But it's not going to be the full 0 out of $15 just for that. But it's watch your ass. I'm going to try to get into the non-spoiler stuff first. Ooh. Put a lot of tequila in that. I'm going to try to get into the non-spoiler portion of it first. So, if you saw any trailers, then you saw who's in the movie. You saw Spider-Man. You saw Mysterio's in the movie. You saw that MJ, not to be confused with Mary Jane, but MJ's in the movie and his friend's in the movie. The Pacific Islander kid, Filipino kid, is in the movie, and it's Spider-Man in Europe. It's normally these movies are an excuse for the filmmakers to just go on a trip to Europe with their friends and have fun and cavort all over Europe. For a perfect example of that, look up Ocean's 12. All that was an excuse for Brad Pitt and his friends to go around Europe and get paid for doing it. This, not so much, because I don't necessarily... There was a lot of stuff that I'm sure wasn't actually done in Europe. Some stuff that may have been done in Europe, like there was the European setting. Definitely some of the sets that they were at looked European, but the good majority of the movie didn't necessarily have to take place in Europe. Could have taken place anywhere. As far as the effects are concerned, the effects are fine. I didn't find myself taken out of it by the effects. I thought that the story was okay. I thought that the movie was nice and breezy. Didn't completely overstay its welcome. It was like, kept at a nice pace. We're not talking Endgame or Infinity War here. We weren't sitting there for 86 hours. It was a nice paced movie. The effects I thought were fine. The relationships that they try to foster between the characters, I don't necessarily just mean romantic relationships. I mean the relationships between the characters, how they interact with each other, feels relatively natural. I know with Spider-Man, especially this new incarnation of Spider-Man, we're looking for a lot of jokes. Very jokey, very... I don't want to say kid-friendly, because nowadays kid-friendly just a lot of times just means terrible. But the lighter atmosphere than Avengers, I think fits, and I think works for most of the character work that is done here. Most of the character work. I think Samuel L. Jackson sticks out like a sore thumb, and I think Colby Smulders a little bit sticks out like a sore thumb. We'll get into why when we get into the spoiler section. But other than that, I think the interaction between the characters is relatively good, if not great at some parts. I think Aunt May and Peter's chemistry works. I think Peter and MJ's chemistry... Peter as a character works in this. His chemistry with the other people work. The other people's chemistry with each other, for the most part, works. Again, most of it works except for, in my opinion, the S.H.I.E.L.D. team. And we'll get into that in a second. Jake Gyllenhaal is actually pretty good in this part. He actually fits pretty well in this part. The costume fits him. I kind of believe that. If you're a comic purist, I don't know what to tell you because I'm not a comic purist. I don't know the actual backstory, but essentially the movie works. There's not really anything that sticks out as terrible in the movie. It just, to me, doesn't quite excel into oh my god territory. It's good. It's fine. Watch it again, maybe. Sure, I would be opposed to that. But it's not like, I have to see this again, or I will never see this again. It's, I'll probably see it again. Sure. Or if I see it again, I won't be mad. Sure. And we'll get into the rating a little bit later when we get to that portion. Now, if you're still hanging on, if you're still with your boy, you can go ahead and you don't want to be spoiled, then I will give you a chance to leave right now. Go on, go. Walk out the door. Don't turn around now, because you're not welcome anymore. Just go ahead and take off while I scroll through some scrolling. Keep scrolling through the scrolls. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Mm-hmm. Still here? Still here? Okay. Alright, so spoiler time here. So as Spider-Man starts, Spider-Man Far From Home starts, Peter's it's not Peter, it's Peter's school news station is put up a cheap little video about all the lost Avengers that we lost in the other movies, and it immediately gets a laugh, which is good. They used Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You" rendition, and it definitely looked like it didn't fit in the movie, and it would fit in something that, like a high school news station would post. It worked. Essentially, they kind of get some exposition out of the way. Somebody asked me about what they're going to do with the age difference and stuff like that since the snap, and it turns out they explain that a little bit. So the people that were snapped away, they came back looking the exact same. It's like they never left. So if you left and you were 16, 5 years had passed, you're still 16. Get it? You're not 21. Like, technically, your driver's license will tell you that you're 21, but you're technically still 16. Right? So, like, there's even a joke where on the plane to Europe, somebody tries to get, like, a glass of champagne, and MJ says, excuse me, he was blipped. They call it the blip. He was blipped. He's actually 16, not 21. And so he doesn't get the alcohol. So that's, see, they talk about that. They fix some stuff up. They put some holes together. Peter Parker is mourning Mr. Stark. He doesn't want Mr. Stark to, he's still trying to, but he's trying to put it past him. He's trying to get ready for this trip to Europe. He's got this plan to get together with MJ, and that's what his main focus is. He doesn't want to be Spider-Man. Aunt May is like, go ahead and pack your spider suit, and he's like, I will, and he intentionally forgets to pack the spider suit. Aunt May remembers to pack the spider suit for him, and even leaves a note saying, you almost forgot this, May. See? Along the way, apparently there's a burgeoning romance between Happy and Aunt May. But Peter's whole plan is to try to get closer with MJ. And he tries to do it on the plane, but then that gets debacled up. And a lot of the focus when they do come to the teacher stays away. Apparently J.B. Smoove is one of the teachers. Stays away from J.B. Smoove and focuses on the other teacher, which is fine. Less grating on the ears. I like that. He's the one that repositions everybody on the plane so that Peter, instead of sitting with his friend or sitting with MJ, is sitting with the teacher. His friend is sitting with the girl a blonde chick who apparently is a pest, but they end up getting together almost immediately on the plane. And MJ is sitting with the jock football player type guy. Much to Peter's dismay. A lot of the movie is, high school stuff. Peter trying to get together with MJ, trying to set the whole thing up with MJ, but life for Spider-Man gets in the way. He gets called away on missions from S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. is trying to get a hold of him before he leaves. Like, they're trying to call him, they're texting him. Happy ends up calling him or meeting with him and saying, hey, you got to get a hold of Nick Fury, otherwise Nick Fury's going to get a hold of you. And he's like, I don't want to, phooey to Fury. I'm going to go on this European tour, I'm going to kiss the girl, and I'm going to like it. And he goes on the tour, and Nick Fury finds him. Sure enough, Nick Fury tranquilizes, darts his friend, which you saw in the trailer. A lot of what you saw in the trailer ends up in the movie. So it doesn't necessarily give everything away, but you've seen a lot of it. Because apparently they've been having these disturbances on the planet Earth. Peter Parker's like, why don't you call everybody else? Why don't you call, There's a fly on my monitor. There, bye fly. I need to kill this thing. I don't know how I got in the house, but I need to kill this thing. It's going to drive me nuts. Or let it out so it bothers somebody else. Anyway, he's like, why don't you call anyone else? Why don't you call Thor? He's busy. Why don't you call Hulk? He's busy. Why don't you call Captain Marvel? Don't invoke her name. Agreed. So Peter Parker's like, I don't really want to do this. So in these seismic events, that's where we see Mysterio for the first time. Mysterio is actually there to try to stop these seismic events. And Peter and Fury end up going to like some cave somewhere where the S.H.I.E.L.D. cats are set up, including Kobe Smolder. Now, boy oh boy, I know I missed some stuff when it comes to the MCU. There are a couple movies I didn't see. Like, I didn't see the second Thor, which was a little while ago. I still haven't caught Captain Marvel. Apparently I don't necessarily need to. And I didn't see the first Spider-Man. Thanks, J.B. Smoove. But I saw Endgame. I don't remember Nick Fury looking as old in Endgame as he does now. Now, I know Sam Jackson is no spring chicken. Sam Jackson has been around for a long time. Sam Jackson was 50 in the 90s when he was playing Jamal's dad on Ghost Rider. Okay, so let's not for a second pretend that Sam Jackson is a spring chicken. But man, does he look his age in this movie. I mean, he's starting to look his age in this movie. I didn't see Shaft, but I saw the trailers for Shaft. He looked good in that. He looked good in the trailers for Shaft, at least. Even if the movie looked like crap. But he's starting to show his age. He is starting to show his age. And Kobe Smolder, if she doesn't look like she's showing her age, she just looks like she's very tired. She just looked perpetually tired in this movie. And I'm talking about her face. Like her acting skills, like I get it, she was doing the stoic kind of tough chick thing, but she looked, her eyes specifically, she looked tired. And Sam Jackson looked every bit his age. I'm gonna look this up right now. How old Sam Jackson is? Sam L. is Samuel Jackson age. Damn, Sam Jackson is 70. Sam Jackson is 70? Hold on. Because Jungle Fever came out in like 90. Damn, he was like 40. Yeah, he was perpetually 40. Yes. Oh, wow. Sam Jackson is 70 years old? Wow, son. Wow. Time waits for nobody, huh? Sam Jackson is getting up there in age. Oh my gosh. I mean, he still doesn't need the round-the-clock protection. You know, I know everybody's like, make sure we protect Betty White. He doesn't necessarily need, you know, we don't lose. We're not going to lose Sam L, but damn, homeboy is 70. And he is looking every bit of 70 in this movie. He looks all of that 70 years old in this flick. At least for Sam L. Like, he's moving a little bit slower, you know, a little bit wider, you know, than he used to be. He looks, you know, he looks like 70 years old for Sam L. Jackson. Which, for anybody else, is a cool 45. But he looks Sam Jackson 70. Anyway. So, I forget what I was talking about. So Sam and Colby get them together, and they're like, they get them together with Mysterio, who helped stop the first big cosmic event. And Mysterio explains, because somebody was asking me about if they were going to make Mysterio a good guy or a bad guy, or if he was going to do the turn. Spoiler alert, he does the turn, because there's no other bad guy advertised in this movie. He's doing the turn. But before he does the turn, he says, hey, my name is Greg. I'm from Earth 2222, or wherever the fuck he says, and yours is Earth 616, and I came here to stop these elementals, as we call them, who combine all the natural powers of the Earth together. You know, there's Earth, there's wind, there's fire, there's water. I was dying for somebody on the screen to say heart. I even blurted out the word heart in the theater. Luckily, it wasn't crowded. Nobody said anything, not in the theater, not in the movie. Somebody needed to say heart. And then when the teachers came together, because it was the last thing, essentially the elementals all came together to form one giant elemental in the penultimate scene. And the teachers are like, oh, they're coming together like the Power Rangers. No, they're coming together like Voltron. And I'm like, they're coming together like Captain Planet and the Planeteers. You sons of... How do you not... You know, come on. Captain Planet, he's a hero, gonna take pollution down to zero. Don Cheadle even parodied him. How fucking you got the War Machine in this universe exists? We're not talking about Captain Planet or how dope a Captain Planet movie would be. We're talking about Spider-Man Far From Home. And Spider-Man Far From Home, apparently all that was subterfuge. So Peter is sitting down with Mysterio in what he thinks is a bar. He's having a lemonade. Mysterio's having a pint. And they're sitting there, they're talking. And along the way, before we get to all this, Tony Stark left Peter one final thing. He left Peter his glasses. He left him his glasses, and he titled the glasses, Edith, even in death, or even dead, I'm the hero. Right? Of course he did. There's a whole bunch of Iron Man iconography. We get a whole bunch of different scenes with Robert Downey Jr. in it. A lot of footage from, it's all footage from the other movies. But yeah, we get a lot of this stuff. So, Peter Parker's left Tony Stark's glasses and the tech. Peter Parker doesn't think that he is fit to use it. With the glasses, Tony left a message about, you know, the next Iron Man. And Peter, of his own volition, is like, here, Mr. Mysterio, you should be the next Iron Man. You know, Mr. Stark wasn't leaving him to me. He was leaving him to me to find the next Iron Man. So here, I'm giving it to you so you can be that hero for the world. And you know, Mysterio's like, no, I can't. And he's like, yes, you can. You have to. I can't do it. I'm a teenage fuck up. And so he gives him the glasses and he takes off. And once he takes off, then the illusion disappears and a lot of the people in the bar disappear, except for the ones that are actually working with Mysterio to help set up these elaborate ruses. So Tony Stark has all these drones. And Mysterio used to work for Stark Enterprises and was actually the one that created the glass tech, according to this movie. And he gave him to Tony, and Tony, you know, we go back to the presentation where we see young Robert Downey Jr. talking to his parents, and he calls him Barf, and then we get a superimposed Jake Gyllenhaal behind the scenes, angry at that. And the other people that are in the bar are also former workers of Stark Enterprises who are angry at their lot in life and how Tony treated them, and they're going to get their revenge by creating these elaborate battles and ruses that actually do create some damage and do, in fact, kill people, but they're huge, elaborate hoaxes all based around the technology of Stark Enterprises and holographs that are these lifelike holograms that are created courtesy of these drones that are flying all around. Just hundreds of drones all around to create these elaborate scenes. Spider-Man is going to help, but he's not really going to help. So Spider-Man is involved in some of this stuff, but he's not really. While Mysterio's doing all the battling, Spider-Man is doing stuff like holding up buildings so they don't fall on people, holding up Ferris wheels so his friends don't die. He's behind the scenes witnessing all this stuff. So he's not actually involved in the holograms, because when he does get involved, he realizes that they're fake and can actually go into them and eliminate the drones. Now, that kind of counteracts some different scenes, including one where Mysterio essentially mind fucks with Spider-Man so that he's falling through stuff that seemed to be real in the hologram and getting punched in the face and all these different things. But again, they explain that away by saying that the holograms, when they want to, can create as much damage or as little damage as they want to, because plot convenience. So, Spider-Man gives the glasses to Mysterio. Mysterio's like, haha, I got him now. I'm going to create this Avengers level emergency here on Earth, but I'm going to be the one to save everybody, and everybody's going to heap a whole ton of praise on me. Spider-Man, in the midst of all this, MJ sees one of the battles and takes one of the projectors from one of the holograms that falls out after Spider-Man destroys it, right? So MJ and Spider-Man are on a bridge somewhere in Europe, and it seems like Peter Parker's going to get his way, and he's going to get to tell the girl that he likes her. But she's like, oh, you're Spider-Man, right? And he's like, huh? And she's like, you're Spider-Man, right? And then he's like, no, I'm not Spider-Man, I'm not Spider-Man. And she gives him the projector, and the projector goes off. And then he flippantly was like, actually, yes, I am Spider-Man. We got to go right now because we're in danger, yada, yada, yada. So he takes off to go fight Mysterio, to try to tell Nick Fury that Mysterio is not what Mysterio thinks he is, but he trusted Mysterio so much that he's got to give Happy the message, and Happy's got to give a coded message to Nick Fury, which is really just things aren't as they appear via phone, because it's like, oh, Mysterio's listening, he's watching us. Battle, smoke screen. Spider-Man goes through the illusion and starts battling with the drones. Mysterio, meanwhile, is on a bridge, controlling all this. Spider-Man comes back to the bridge where Mysterio is. They have a final face-off. Mysterio ends up dying. Spider-Man's Spidey sense has been off, essentially, this whole time, for reasons that we don't quite know. Maybe it has something to do with Endgame, who knows. But his Spider sense, or as the movie has been calling him, Aunt May and Happy has been calling it, his Peter tingle, which, you know, insert Marissa Tomei Peter tingle joke here. But you know, that's been off. What's been happening? Well, he gets it back at the very, very end of the movie when Mysterio is about to shoot him in the head, because convenience. But while all this has been going on, while Spider-Man was involved in this one last illusion targeted specifically at him by Mysterio, Mysterio was setting this whole thing up for his goodbye message as he's dying, right? Because he knows the end is basically about to be near here. So Spider-Man gets rid of the gun. Somewhere during the fight, one of the drones accidentally shoots Mysterio because he's in the line of fire. They didn't want to do it, but Mysterio, by the way, has control over Edith because Spider-Man switched control to him. So because he was in the line of fire, they didn't want to shoot the drones, but he overrid that, had the drones shoot the bullets at Spider-Man. One of them either ricocheted or accidentally hit him or something like that. So he's going down from excessive blood loss. While he's going down to excessive blood loss, he records one final message, which we see in the final cutscene. There's a mid-credits cutscene and a final credit cutscene. The mid-credits cutscene is him flying around with MJ. Final credit cutscene is the end of him flying around with MJ, and on the big screen, you see the DailyBugle.net, Jonah Jameson, the real one, the original one, the good one, came back, but this time he's an Alex Jones type character. It's very obvious they're ripping off InfoWars. Very, very obvious they're ripping off InfoWars, but he's on there. Instead of yelling about the frogs being gay, he's yelling about this incredible footage that they somehow got. Obviously, it was leaked to them by Mysterio before he dies, where Mysterio records this message, flipping the words of Spider-Man, because Spider-Man actually is trying to call off the drones. Cancel them or execute the cancellation protocols, but instead it's execute them all, right? Because it's what he says. And instead of in the actual scene and context, them all is execution protocols. In the context of this video, it's execute all these innocents. And Mysterio reveals that Peter Parker is in fact Spider-Man in the video before he dies. And Spider-Man at the end of the end credit scene goes, "What?" Actually, no, the mid credit scene. And then the end credit scene is Nick Fury and Kobe Smulders in a car, and it turns out they're Skrull. They're not actually Nick Fury and Kobe Smolder, they're Skrull. And they get a call from Nick Fury and asking how it's been. And apparently they've been just kind of putting up the front so that Nick Fury can go and relax. Nick Fury can't go and relax. And he's relaxing in this other kind of illusion screen while he's on whatever planet he's on. And he's like, all right, everybody back to work, essentially signaling more Avengers movies. And yeah. It was all right. It was cool. It was fine. I got to see this movie for free because of points at the movie theater that I accumulated. So that was fine. That was another reason. That was really the primary reason why I didn't get up and leave when I saw JB Smoove. It was fine. Like I mentioned, the graphics, the CG was fine. I feel like a lot of it was built for the 3D experience. I saw it in 2D. It was fine. Listen, if your movie can survive in 2D, it should be able to survive in, it shouldn't need 3D because, can't necessarily get that exact same experience at home. You should have what's known as a halfway decent story. But, overall, the graphics are fine. The stories, the intermingling of the characters were fine. Like I mentioned, the only kind of stick out sore thumb relationship was anything having to do with Kobe Smolder and anything having to do with Nick Fury. Because I don't know if it's a Kobe Sam thing, but Kobe and Sam were, I don't want to say, they weren't half-assed, because I don't feel like they were. I feel like they're just getting older. I feel like they're just, I don't know. There was something missing from them, definitely. I feel like everything else is fine. Peter Parker is very affable, very likable. How can you not like the kid? How can you not like Aunt May? They paid as much homage to what had happened in the other movies as they could or probably should have to distance themselves from that relationship. with whatever footage they were able to get as well. You got to remember, Spider-Man is still with Sony, so they're still doing that technical relationship thing. But still technically, they only get so much access, which is a good thing on Marvel's part because Amy Pascal is tied to this, and the less she has to do with anything in entertainment, the better. But the graphics were cool. The fight scenes were pretty good. I kind of like the fight scenes. I would kind of like to see more from. I would have liked. I don't know how I feel about the Mysterio as a villain. Again, you got one of these villains where the reason for the villain doing what the villain's doing. You can kind of even sympathize with the villain doing what he's doing to some extent. It doesn't necessarily make you like him. You don't necessarily. He's very. He's makes a good heel. The double crosses that he executes are good. Some of the plans are a little out. Some of the things they did in this movie was a little on the nose. I know we're talking about a superhero movie, but you don't need to be so on the nose with it. And there are some of the things that they did that were very on the nose. Like Peter Parker's suitcase. There's a close-up shot where it shows Uncle Ben's initials on the suitcase. B, whatever, P, right, on the suit. Okay. Yes, okay. Tearjerker, yes, got it. Some of the speeches that Mysterio gives is like, okay, got it. And they weren't like fun, cheesy on the nose. They were just kind of like very on the nose, right? There's one scene that actually worked, I think, for its on the noseness. I don't know if this is because I'd already been in the movie for a while, but it was when Peter Parker's on Stark's jet, putting together his suit the way Tony did his Iron Man suits. And Happy is controlling the ship. He turns around and he sees this and he gets this look in his eye like, oh man, that reminiscent, yeah, this is what Tony was doing. And Peter's like, what? It's like, nothing. It's like, that one worked because it was slightly more subtle. And maybe that's just a Favreau thing because, he's a good actor as well as director. But that one actually worked versus some of the other kind of on the nose things that they did. Overall, I would say Spider-Man Far From Home out of $15 is probably worth, considering the graphics were good. They weren't great. They weren't terrible though. They weren't Hulk in the Hulkbuster suit terrible. They were fine. They were good, especially for a Marvel movie. Because Marvel has a tendency to fucking cheat the fuck out. However, this is a Sony movie, really. And, Spider-Verse was amazing. So I think they leaned more heavily on the people that did those effects than the Marvel, and that's a good move. And Zendaya is fine in that role. She's fine. I definitely see the potential for her as an actress. There's a lot of hype behind her, and I get that she's one of these, bubblegum, or came from the bubblegum kid show mill where that has a very sycophantic fan base. But as an actress, just the way she's able to, at least in this movie, hit that right tone of sarcasm and awkwardness around Peter and that relationship that she and he create together, I can see her working well as an actress. I don't know anything else about her. I haven't seen her sing or anything like that. But if the focus is on her acting talent and not like, she's the most gorgeous thing on the planet and the most greatest actress and the greatest this and the greatest that, like, if they focus on the actual talent that she has, which is acting, I can definitely see enjoying going to her other projects in the future. I can definitely see that. And everybody else in the movie except for JB Smoove works. So, bravo to the cast. The story was very brisk, a little bit too brisk at certain points. It feels like it didn't feel like they skipped over anything, but it feels like it was it really didn't want to overstay its welcome. It felt like the pacing wanted to make up for the length of Endgame while still making the feature length cut. And the I don't know. I would say out of $15, Spider-Man Far From Home deserves it's hard not to compare it to the other MCU movies. And comparing it to the other MCU movies, it's not one of the better ones. It's okay. It's fine. I think it's probably like right on par with like Black Panther for me. Same thing. Actually, maybe Black Panther maybe a little bit less, only because the graphics in Black Panther got really bad. But out of $15, said this before, out of $15, Spider-Man Far From Home deserves I'm looking at this number in my head, and I think it fits. I can't see going any higher than this, and I can't see going really any lower than this. 12 out of 15. Well, yeah. I mean, it's fine. 12 out of 15 even seems high. 11 out of 15. I'm gonna stick with 11 out of 15. I think it was fine. I think it was an enjoyable movie for the parts that were enjoyable. I think maybe it suffered from a little sequelitis, in that the portions that I mentioned where it just kind of seemed like they did certain things just to do them. Like, let's go to Europe now. Like, and some of the performances, again, like I mentioned, brought it down a little bit. The story was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't awful. It was like right there. There were some good points, but I would say maybe 11 out of $15. It was fine. It was good. It wasn't the best thing ever. It wasn't the best thing this summer by any means. It was no John Wick or Toy Story 4. It was fine. It was enjoyable. I would say, if you can catch on a matinee sometime this summer when you're not working, or if you're not going to school, go ahead and do that. But matinee it only. You don't need to spend the extra money on the 3D glasses. You don't need to spend. You don't need to go full price, or even better, if you got full points and you can see it for free, or you got Movie Pass and you can see it for free. Fine, go do that. But don't spend the whole $15 on it. You don't need to do that. Like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Party people. Feels good to do one of these live streams. I'm hoping I get to the point where I can actually do these from the theater, because I need to be able to go live on mobile. And the only way I can do that, party people, is through your assistance. I'm going to need for you to go to Subscribestar. I'm going to need for you to go to Patreon.com. I'm going to need for you to share this video. I'm going to need you to like this video. I'm going to need you to get more people to the party. Get me? Because the more people you get to the party, the more privileges I get on YouTube. Or Vlare.tv. Hey, what's Vlare.tv? Remember VidMe? Vlare.tv. That's where we're at. Vlare.tv. Go over there. There's some privileges and stuff I get over there as well. If I get some more views, some more subscribers over there. Daily Motion is still a thing. Yes, I know, right? It's still a thing. But it is. It's still a thing. So go over to dailymotion.com/real469. Show your support over there. Help keep the lights on at the party. The more time I have to focus on these videos and to make these videos, the more of the content that you'll get. And the only way that can happen is through your support, is through Patreon, is through Subscribestar, is through the PayPal link, all of which is in the description. Go ahead and give me that, and give us that support, because I'm trying to entertain you. I don't know if you noticed this, but YouTube kind of sucks right now. Is it just my feed? Maybe it is, but my feed kind of sucks. Like, I'm going through my feed on a daily basis, like just scrolling. There's just not anything I really want to watch anymore. Like, these are like people and channels that I'm subscribed to for various reasons. Some of them are other small channels that I subscribe to. Actually, a lot of the small channels I'm subscribed to kind of disappear from my feed. I don't know if they're still making content, if they got algorithmed out. I may need to just go in to YouTube and just like manually draw some of my subscription feeds back up to the forefront, because YouTube sucks as an as a platform for that. But that's why I need your help. That's why I need your support. Hit that bell notification so that you know when I do pop up with stuff like this. I've got different videos in the works coming up, including one tomorrow. It's kind of a lighthearted one, but it is something that you can watch. Party people, tell me what you think of Spider-Man. Tell me what you think of my review down there in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And party people, I will see you on the next one. Until the next one, cheers.